To the top three finishers of the FIA Formula One Belgian Grand Prix. In third place, Charles Leclerc. In second place, Sergio Perez, and taking a hat-trick of wins here in Belgium, our winner, Max Verstappen. Max, brilliant job by you. Your 8th win in a row, the 45th win of your Formula One career. You had to work for this one. Just talk us through the various challenges you faced out there.
Yeah, lap 1, turn 1. My start was okay, but then I could see Carlos lock up, so he had to go to the inside. But then, of course, Oscar was kind of there as well. And then, yeah, they both went deep into the corner. So I knew exactly what was going to happen because I have had the same happening to me 2016, I think it was, or something. So I was like, okay, I'm going to stay out of it. I go wide. But then, of course, they had damage. And you have to wait and see what they're going to do on the exit because I could see Oscar couldn't really steer anymore. So we lost a little bit of momentum there. But luckily, it was all okay. And then, of course, I also got Carlos into Lecom. And, yeah, from there on, it's basically my race started, but I was a bit unlucky. I got stuck behind Lewis because he was in the DRS of Charles, and with them having the highest top speed, Lewis, this weekend, it was just impossible to pass. So I had to wait for him to drop out of the DRS, and as soon as he didn't have DRS anymore, I could pass. And then I think 2 or 3 laps later, I could pass Charles, but with that, I think I hurt my tires a bit too much. So basically, as soon as I had my stop onto the medium, I could feel that the car was in a much better window and I could go a lot faster. So yeah, from there that was really where it started to come alive and really enjoyable to drive. Once I got in the lead, also I could really look after the tires well. But then, of course, the rain started to come down, so you had to slow down quite a bit in some places. And once that cleared, we went back to a soft tire set, and again the car was well balanced, and it shows that, you know, once you're not in traffic, how much better you can be on tires. So yeah, it was again a great race. Yeah.
Given that this was the first heavy fuel running you'd done of the weekend in the dry, how many unknowns were there coming into the race?
There were a few unknowns. I think also the first thing probably a bit too much understand the car, trying to follow, but honestly, if I would have to do it again, I wouldn't really change a lot on the car. So I guess we nailed it pretty much.
You nailed it. You took the lead on lap 17. Just what was your approach when you were sitting on the grid in terms of getting to the front?
No, I mean, you just have to wait and see what happens also in front of you. I mean, once you're clear through lap 1, then basically you can just settle in and work your way forward.
Now, you touched on the rain. Tell us what goes through your mind when you're sideways through Eau Rouge.
Yeah, that's probably not the best place to go sideways, but luckily nothing happened. I mean, of course, also with the new like the changes through there, you have a little bit more runoff, but it's still not a nice corner to have a moment.
What were you thinking?
A swear word.
Yeah. Now look, Max, you're leading the championship by 125 points. Does the summer break come at a good time or a bad time for you? Would you rather keep the momentum going and have another race next weekend?
I don't think it matters a lot, to be honest. I just want to have a nice time now, have a bit of time with family and friends, and then we'll go to Zandvoort. I mean, it's a completely different track again to Spa, but I'm expecting if we do a good job with the setup, we will be quick.
All right, very well done to you. Have a good break.
You spoke about what you were thinking when you had that moment at Eau Rouge. I wondered if you could just expand on what caused it. I know it was wet at the time, and also how you saved it. And also to both of the Red Bull drivers, were you also having to fuel save? And if so, at what point? Thanks.
Yeah. I mean, it was just the rain was just moving around on the track. Like sometimes it was increasing in other places, you know, from lap to lap. So I just got up there, and probably it just rained a bit harder when I was on the other side of the track in Eau Rouge, and I got there and it just caught me out. It was a bit more slippery than I thought it would be. So yeah, it was. I mean, it happens. So you quickly, try to correct it. Sometimes, of course, it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Luckily, of course, and at that speed as well, you know, you have quite a bit of downforce on the car that helps. But it was not great. We did have to save a bit, but it's always a combination of things throughout the race. What you're saving.
Thanks, Max.
Yeah.
Next one.
Silja Rulle, Bild, another one for Max. You had some interesting conversations with your race engineer. Could you just explain how much seriousness was in that, or how much joking around and humor was that?
Probably 50-50 in the messages. I mean, I know that the team doesn't like to do another stop, but I like to mention it, so they might get a bit nervous. So, and then I like the response that no, we're not doing that today. It's fine. I mean, we know each other very well, and we have a very good relationship.
Thank you. Another one.
Laurent Sedmonson, ESPN. Another question to Max, and on the same subject of GP. Clearly, that's a very close relationship, as you said. How important has he been to your success, and what would happen if he was removed from, from your engineering side? Because it's clear that you two have this really good ability to talk to each other.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very important, the relationship with your race engineer. I find it always a really important part of your performance. Not only your race engineer, but everyone like very close around your performance engineer, these kind of things. So, and of course, over the years, you build up much more of a relationship. You know each other much better. So yeah, for sure, if he would be removed or whatever, that's definitely not ideal at all.
Thank you.
Question to Max. Max, if you look back at the first half of the season, all those victories, is there anyone that's the most satisfying for you, and could you please explain why? Thank you.
It's difficult to choose. I mean, there have been a lot of nice ones. Some a bit more straightforward. I think the one actually which I really enjoyed was like back in time also Miami. It's a tough track also to get through the field, but we managed, I think, that whole race quite well after, of course, the tough qualifying. So probably, yeah, for me, that was a very enjoyable one. But honestly, also today, the last one in Hungary, there are a lot of nice ones. And I think also throughout the first part of the season, we have improved as a team. And also from my side, I feel more comfortable in the car. And it's all about little details. So a lot of, enjoyable moments. It's tough to pick one.
Thank you. Yep.
Question to all three. Where do you guys pretend to spend the days of vacation? And if you at least do some karting, iRacing, or forget 100% about racing those days?
Max, what are your plans?
A lot of cardio and a lot of wrist training. No, not what you think it is. You're a dirty man.
Okay. Next one, Checo.
Yeah, I will be training my skills in the golf cart through the golf course.